Hello, and welcome to another edition of Survivor Debrief. My name's Eden Porter, the unlucky loser from Survivor Titans vs Rebels. With me, as always, is my comedic partner and real-life brother, Josh Porter. Josh, how you going?
I'm great. I'm loving this season. This is such an exciting season. There's so many great players still in this. I think my favorite thing at the moment is there's some really interesting factions going on. There's still some good people in there for numbers, but there's like really good leaders on like 3-4 different sides who are able to rally votes and pull stuff together. So it's been really exciting.
I think you're right. And on my season, I had mentioned that there's only a few people that can corral votes. Whereas I actually looking at this, yeah, it is. I know. So like Lottie's there, Simon's there, like Aisha was there, even Jackson was doing a lot.
Yep.
Brooke, Mark,
Yep.
Keely, Faith, like so many people
Totally.
that can really bring it together. And I think that's what makes it interesting, Josh.
That's
what
great.
makes
a
it
great,
interesting.
A great week for Aussie Survivor this week.
And really, yeah, like lots of ups and downs and lots of, just with the editing of these characters, right? I just got to say this right now. They are building up a lot of these people just to tear them down. Like, it's wild that some of these pre-merge, like, players are getting these awesome, cool edits. Like, I feel like a lot of these people that went this week, well, both of them, Aisha and Faith, they were big characters and
Absolutely.
they were giving a really good edit. And I thought they were in the long game. Like, I thought they had main character energy for the long run.
Absolutely.
At least getting to the jury.
Particularly Faith as well to be in that group. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've like, this is going back to our season. There were so many people that didn't get that just like, oh, they're pre-merged or whatever. They're pre-jury, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And like, I remember at the time thinking like, oh, this will be good. I'm going to be the fallen angel edit and stuff like that. It's like, no, you're just like next. It's like, see you later.
We're looking at Kerbis and Ferry. Kerbis and Ferry,
or Ferry and Kerbis.
So we're looking at
Ferris and
Kirby.
Yes.
That was obviously a huge aspect of your season, which was really fun to watch. But like, this is great. Like, I feel like there's so much more energy and excitement across the whole cast.
But speaking of that, though, I do feel like Mark obviously was in Titans versus Rebels.
Yep.
But he was just sort of swallowed up again, like we all were with the edit. And this time we're seeing Mark like in his glory, getting some big episodes and stuff like that, which I'm really enjoying. Like, giving him his flowers in these sort of episodes where you go, oh, cool, there's nothing else happening. It's just this. Like, this is the focus. And I think that's really cool. But let's get into episode 10. So I just want to touch base again. The Beauty and the Beast Alliance. Did we talk about the name of that yet, Josh?
It doesn't quite work because it's not the right amount of beasts. Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Brooke is Brooke
Beauties?
saying that she's a challenge beast? Is that why she's a beast? Maybe.
I think it's fine. It's fine. We didn't really talk about the head office name. Head office is a lot better than Ruby Soho because you can theme it, and they did it. Like in the socials, they had memos going out and all this sort of stuff. But when we were also covering season 50 of Survivor, no one is naming. I feel like they've gone past naming like their alliances. Well, it's almost like they're big enough personalities by themselves.
They're just like, we're getting on.
Yeah, it's like, no, we are who we are. You know who we are.
I think that what they've done in it is they've been like, hey, we're like this and this. Like, we're like Kirk and Spock. We're They're not, we're going to be called the Star Trek like buddies. Whereas this, we're still, and I'm a big component of naming your alliance. I think it's really good, but it does feel like this season has gone crazy with it. Like you have one interaction and you go, okay, what's our name? What's our name?
Yeah, I don't feel you need it for duos. I think.
Yeah, you don't really need it for duos.
3+.
Group.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, guys. You heard it here first. 3+. That's the only way to do it. There you go. Little quick shout out to Ben. I feel like Ben's coming into his own these 3 episodes. We haven't seen anything of him.
Finally saw a little bit of him.
He was good. I feel like he's more interesting.
He's in the conversations. What kind of sway he has, I don't know, but he's been awesome to watch in all the challenges. So I'll actually be really interested to see how he fares once we get to individual. I think he'll be really strong. Yeah,
same. And one thing I saw in this episode, the coconut shower, waste of coconut. Was that coconut juice in their hair? I think it was.
It looked like it, like a day spa.
Wasted coconut, mate. Wasted coconut.
Well, maybe Eden, unlike you, maybe he opens them so easily. It's like opening a bottle of water.
Well, maybe. Good on him, I say. But it was a lot of effort when we were out there. Then
for some.
From me, for some. Yeah, exactly. Bounty, we've mentioned head office and Rich versus Caleb. It seems like everyone hates Caleb. But there's this lovely little unspoken dance going on at this start, and we see it pan out over these 3 episodes in this sort of arc. This lovely Keely and Mark both being annoyed when the other wants control, and both being like, Mark has to have a control, and you see Mark Keely's trying to take control.
Yeah.
And then when they talk to each other, it's still very civilized. And very like a bit of a dance and a bit of a.
Well, it's almost like they've got the guns under the table pointing at each other.
Yeah. And I remember me and Mark had a similar conversation at one point when I felt like I had Caro and Kitty, and he felt he had the V's.
Yeah.
And we were both sort of trying to get to an understanding of like,
who
is
are
the
we taking
expectation?
With us?
Yeah, who's coming with us? Are we turning on this group? Are you turning on the V's? What's happening? But we didn't want to say it out loud. It was very interesting. Mark's he's got a history of those sort of conversations. I think that's really fun when that comes out. But whereas Faith and him talk, Faith just rips him. Faith is just like, no, this is what's happening. It's quite direct.
It's been really interesting watching their dynamic shift and change. And as we sort of we'll talk about later, but that whole thing of being with these people constantly for this long, and their numbers are dwindling relatively early before pre-merge. There's not too many of them on their tribe, which I think makes a big difference of who you're around at this stage of the game.
And just one more thing before we get to the challenge. They play into the fact that it looks like Keely goes, oh, I need to get Rich because the numbers are dwindling, and I'm just going to work on Rich and pull him away from Mark. And it looks like it's sort of working. And Rich is like, this is cool. But then ultimately he votes for her later on. So obviously
I think Rich is definitely shopping around. I think he's probably settled with Mark, but I definitely feel he's felt being in that third wheel position of like, I've just got to latch onto anything. And he's really, and I think he had some conversation with Faith as well. So I think he's been quite smart in really feeling like he's opening up to these people so he can work with them.
I'm actually really liking the Rich arc, narrative arc.
Yeah, it's been really
I feel he was swallowed up in the original tribe because there was bigger personalities, Harry and Lottie and all this sort of stuff. But since he's got given a story, and this is what you want when you're on the show, you want a story. Your story was he was minority swapped and he had to make it work. Yeah. Since then, we've really seen him develop as a character, and it's been really nice to see where he is now. I think it's good.
It'll just be interesting to see because compared to a lot of the other big players in the game, that I feel like they've got really tight allies. And once they all get back together, I do wonder where Rich will end up falling. I think it'll be really interesting to see. Does he go back over there? Does he stick with Mark? I'm not too sure exactly.
Simon
where
is his number one. Simon is
his
number one.
Though?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They are super tight. And
I guess
it's not
based
really
on
shown
now with Lottie sort of cut out.
And that's why Simon wants to keep him so hard. So let's get to the challenge. So this challenge was for reward, and it was the I call it the carrot in a box challenge.
There you go.
You should go check out. It's 9 out of 10 cats do countdown, and they do a carrot in a box challenge, and it's absolutely amazing. It's really amazing. Anyway. We all saw it. I really like this challenge. I think this is a cool, fun way to do a reward sort of thing. Is this place of the auction? I don't know.
It looked like the way it's set up looks like the auction. I think it's probably more interesting than the auction. I think you get more information about the players that you don't really get from the auction. The auction is like there's this attempt to be strategic with your money, but it doesn't quite. I feel like the auction is so broken now. I don't really know. It's really difficult to fix, Whereas I think this is a nice one of. You're pitting, and it looks like they did a lot of rounds. We spent a lot of time on this.
Well, I did ask around, and there were heaps more rounds.
Yeah, right.
Heaps more. And there was actually a lot more fired up stuff. Way more.
What do you mean
in terms
fired
of
up stuff?
Well, everyone knows Aisha. She's running the tribe, isn't she? She's running things.
Oh wow!
Jeez. Or Blanche, you're just a puppet. You're just a puppet doing whatever they say. So it got quite full on.
Yeah, wow.
And so a lot of the conversations back and forth. I think we only saw one of them. People firing.
The big one was the Brooke one. The sob story about the letters from home. Do you think is that a good play or a bad play?
No, this is good. Was it good or
call,
bad
call, Caro.
Good call, bad call, Caro. It's pretty classified over here. Survivor classified. Good call, bad call. Bad call, Josh. Bad call. Basically, she gave away too much for some pie. She gave away her standing in the game, her ability to lie, her sort of manipulation.
Does that stay with people?
I think so. I think people were going, damn, we saw it. We saw people say it.
We did see that, but I wonder if that fades. You just hang out with people and that you get your natural sense of who they are.
Is it worth a bit of pie? Probably not.
Probably not.
in something that realistically comes down to a 50-50 chance.
On your season, did you have moments that changed your opinion of how much you could trust people? Like, did you have people that you were like, I had a version of them in my head, and then we had one conversation or one little thing happened, and I went, nah, that's who they are?
I did. I had it in reverse. Initially, Ree didn't talk to me when we first came together when we in the swap, and then we had one really good conversation where we both found out we really liked cups of tea, and we just connected. And I was just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah,
and you
great.
just have a little moment with someone, and then you talk like realistically with them. You're like, this is actually really cool. And so that's sort of the reverse of it.
But not so much how much you could trust them or...
No, probably not so much. But that's why you have things like this, because honestly, it plays into rivalries really nicely. It plays into showing relationships.
Yeah.
It shows sort of who can talk, who can manipulate. I think it does way more for the game.
Too. I really liked it.
Anything.
It was great.
And in this as well, Blanche gets a clue.
So exciting for Blanche to have a clue.
So exciting.
But she couldn't see it through, shares it with Aisha, and then Aisha ends up finding it at the hut.
Joshua, I think you got to put the spidey sensors on and the warning lights on when, for no reason at all, Blanche decides to get her glasses out and start looking around with her glasses on. People are like, oh, that's weird. You haven't worn your glasses before. And she's like, oh, yeah, no reason. No reason I'm doing it now.
Just sort of put my glasses on.
It was so obvious that she was doing something.
Eye strain.
But then Aisha finds it like almost instantly.
Yeah.
And then they sort of share it together. And it does feel like they're on the same page, that they're using this as a bonding tool and that they're really going to use it together.
I feel like Blanche is definitely wants buddies and wants people to work with, because it feels like she's maybe been a bit excluded. So it feels like that she's really grabbing onto the people she can, and this is a great way to do that.
And the clue did say, Blanche kept reading it as take shelter from great power, but it was take shelter for great power.
And she's like, her glasses.
That's exactly what I mean. She couldn't read it. And she's like, where am I taking it from? Where is it? I've got to move it. I thought that was quite funny as well. But yeah, good move from Blanche bringing someone in, I think, to solidify where she was in the game.
Yeah.
But terrible, we're just going to say it now, terrible call from not getting it off her.
I don't know why you wouldn't just...
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Even if you are going to use it together, I don't see any reason why I'll give it to you later. Because wasn't there a thing of like, oh, when we go to the challenge, or we'll get our bags out and I'll give it to you or something? I think there was something like that they wanted a better time to swap it over or something. But I'm like, figure it out.
Like they mentioned that they ran out of time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a second. Like, I know everyone's looking at everyone else, but you can just walk behind camp and just do it as a sec. Look, we saw Lyndall and Brooke how easy that is.
Yeah, it's a piece of cake. What are you talking about?
It's a piece of key lime pie.
Yeah, a piece of pie.
Then we get onto the challenge. So this is the ball table with the
and they started all tethered together.
They started all tethered together. The tether bit was fine. That was all good. But
you know my favourite quote of that?
Oh, what was it?
It was, those ropes are so restrictive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we get it. It's all good.
Yeah, they were really restrictive, weren't they, Dave? Good call. But when they actually got to the ball part, now what I liked about this, Josh, I'm not sure. I've had to check my notes here. I think there was a learning curve.
There was a learning curve to this.
I think there was a learning curve. Table maze. The other thing I really liked was that it was just two people doing it, so that they can get their head around it. They get the feel for it. We did a similar sort of challenge,
and it goes down
dropping the ball, and we had to do the whole tribe.
Yeah,
and everyone had to do it, and you couldn't get a feeling, and had to go back to the start
because then the people at the end haven't practiced at all.
Correct.
Like I said, but the people at the start get good practice.
I like this. Just gave it to two people, and they eventually got it. And obviously they were throwing. It became really obvious that Aisha was throwing.
What is it? When throws are happening like this? There is this sort of you're doing enough that it's obvious. Like at that point, do you just like dunk, you know what I mean? Like, do you just give up the illusion entirely, or is there some little bit of politeness that you make it look like you're trying?
Survivor, like you never just want to look like you're absolutely wasting people's time and just throwing a challenge. I think you can have tactics and you can make it look set. I think there are plenty of people out there that would just get pissed off being like, you know what, I'm busting my ass here. And this person is just going, You can get a sense
if someone's throwing it. But I think if it's obvious like this, people get annoyed. People get pissed off.
Totally.
And people hold it against you. And so who ends up winning? So I forget what
Aisha throws, Bounty wins. Bounty Baron
wins, yeah.
to Tribal.
Yeah, and so now we have the scramble, Josh. And this was great, Survivor. This was how you do a blind side. And there were so many little aspects to it. And the Beauty and the Beast guys all came together. And Aisha and Cameron and Lottie had no idea. They had no idea that this group had even formed.
Yeah. And I think what Simon was saying was really interesting. It was like, we're literally doing under their nose and they're all doing enough. I thought that there's always that thing of when it seems too easy, it feels too easy.
Yes.
What is, and obviously it played out in the end and they got what they wanted. Is that because it was so overwhelmingly on Brooke and it made sense that's why they were blinded by it? Like it didn't seem like a bad move for anyone because it's Brooke.
Aisha she basically didn't think hard enough about who does it benefit for Brooke going home. Yeah. Because you've got to think this probably doesn't work for Simon, Brooke going home, because Brooke's probably another returnee, a bit of a shield. So you've got to sort of start thinking that. Then you've got to see who else is Brooke talking to. Well, Ben and her have a relationship. So there's something there as well. That you've got to really think, why is this good for everyone else?
Well, that was one of the strangest things. I think Aisha was having a chat with Simon and was talking along the lines of like, oh, we'll get out the other returnees as well. It's like, you're talking to one of them now. It's like, I don't think you can use the argument of like, get rid of a returnee because they're a returnee to a returnee. There's got to be something more than that. There's got to be some sort of bigger reason why you're getting rid of Brooke, her relationship with this person, the way she's doing this, that kind of thing.
Now, this was also an example of having friends in law, because her understanding was, so she was really tight with Lottie and Cameron, right? They were super tight.
Yeah.
She also had a relationship with a really good relationship with Rich as well, but in his tribe it was Lottie and Cameron. She felt that Lottie had Simon on lock and that Cameron had Loz, like a really deep connection with Loz as well. And so when you're relying on someone else to hold the connection together or someone else reporting on a connection, Lottie's obviously coming back to her going, hey, man, Simon's all good. Yeah. Simon's all good. But if you're not observing it and if you're not seeing it and you can't follow your gut, that's where things, and this is a warning to future players, you can't rely on someone else being that connective tissue, because that's when it can come back to bite you, because she was not seeing those conversations. She was not being able to pick up on social cues and like, hang on, Lot's actually sounding really sketch. Yeah. She's actually sounding really worried. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And Simon, I want to talk about this because Simon burns Lottie here massively. Was there a world where Simon goes to Lottie and says, this is what's happening tonight. Everyone's on board. Get on board. I still want you and me to ride or die together.
I think that's been one of the most interesting parts of this season, that it feels like this constant tension within these alliances of, we kill someone on your side, an extra on your side, or an extra on my side. Kill an extra on your side, kill an extra on my side. So it's like, it feels like that. And Simon didn't want to like convince Lottie of that and play that out, because she would have just seen it as like, no, well, I don't know if you can, but I think you have to know, then it's done. So you either feel like getting rid of Aisha is so valuable to my game that I'm willing to lose Lottie for it. Yes. Or you think Lottie's close enough, you tell her, and then maybe it blows up. So I think you either, your job. I don't think there's any way to salvage it though. I think once you don't include them in that, it's kind of done. What do you think?
You're no longer a ride or die at that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've gone. Okay. Obviously, there was a piece of mistrust there. Obviously, you felt that Lottie was closer with Aisha than we're closer, and that's. Look, a bit of that is the fault of Lottie doing management of her own alliance, because obviously it got to a point where Simon felt that she wasn't as connected with him.
She was too far on the other side.
Yeah. And that's where you go, okay, well, now I've got to strike. But Simon, hopefully he doesn't fall into the thing of, I can get Lottie back. We can salvage this. I still want to work with you, because you've proven that you will do stuff without telling her, and you've totally ruined that relationship. So his focus should actually be getting rid of her now.
Do you think there's that side of Simon that's thinking, well, where else is she going to run? Or is this a dangerous move to do so close to merge? Because is she still locked in with you now, or is she just going to jump ship?
No, she's just going to jump ship now. She doesn't care. She's obviously, she mentioned spite and
like not trusting,
holding back and keeping it together
and going
to
like,
not
and
blow up
she
her own game. Yeah.
and she did that well. And she this is the sign of a good player. When things don't go your way, you don't rant and rave. You don't instantly go, well, now everyone has to vote Simon. I hate him.
Yeah.
You just go, okay, I'm just going to bide my time. I'm just going to make sure I get into a position where I can get revenge at some point.
And so what would you say the big difference is here between you targeting the V's of Mark is that Mark wasn't your ride order. You weren't he wasn't your single person. He was just a really close member of your alliance. Is that the difference there?
Yeah, I think, okay, the difference is there was a mutual respect between me and Mark and a mutual understanding that we both felt that we could probably beat each other in the final.
Yeah, okay.
And that there was an incentive there to take each other because you want someone that thinks they can beat you.
Yeah.
But probably can't. That's the best situation in terms of your opinion.
Yeah.
And when you're both feeling that, that's perfect because you're both incentivized to take each other. And I think, I also think, in a larger group of people, then you're not all going to go to the end. Like Mark and the V's can't all get to the end at some point. There has to be a breakaway at some point. Or Mark and the head office girls, there's going to have to be a breakaway. So if you break it up, that's fine. Whereas I feel like in twos, if it's just you and one other person,
and
sure. you sort of betray them, I think it's really hard to get back that trust. Yeah. And then look, sometimes you don't need to trust someone, you just need to know their motivations and be in line with that and go, okay, this is good for Mark. He's a logical player. He will understand that.
And that'll get you further enough.
And that'll get you further in the game.
Yeah, and I think I almost feel it might have worked maybe in the reverse where maybe Simon as a returnee player, he's going to think this through a bit more and be like, well, if Lottie burns me, but I don't see it being repaired. Should we just skim through Tribal quickly?
Just the only other thing is Aisha saying Ben to Ben was very Daniel
I saw that.
coded.
I
thought that was really funny. And then, we'll just get to Tribal. And then, so Brooke plays her idol.
Yep.
Which I have no qualms about. It's a tight vote. You're not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Just play it and burn it.
There's a lot of question marks up in the air.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like giggly, fun energy at this Tribal, which to me is just like, oh man, it's just not going to go. Like Cameron sort of picked up on it to be like, this doesn't feel like a normal Tribal. And like, is there any way that as the people going for the blind side, you can throw anything in there that muddies it a little bit, that doesn't get them worried? You know what I mean? That almost
it's so hard.
Yeah, because it's like this
so
really
hard.
weird line of like convincing them, yes, that's the plan, but also not so much that they're like getting nervous about it.
Cameron did pick up on a few things.
He totally did.
The more those extra conversations are the thing that hurts. The extra talking to people and going like, let's reiterate. And Simon did the thing where he just did the
Yep, absolutely.
Like he didn't sort of give them. He was just like, yep, still, yep. He didn't really engage a bit, and I'm like, oh, that could set up warnings. But when you look how it played out, when you're in tribal council, it is really hard to go to a live tribal and be like, hang on, something's off here.
Oh yeah,
everything's stop the table.
Yeah, totally.
Let's reassess.
Especially because like even if something's off, you don't necessarily know who they're targeting. Like, I don't think there was any sniff of that maybe something was fractured, but I don't think it was clear where it was going. There wasn't like this figurehead that I think they could point to. They're like, oh my God, this person's really in trouble here. Whereas I think other times when that sense comes out, it's something along the lines of they know who it is. They know who they're targeting.
And Aisha, she ended up being like the quote unquote head of the tribe, which was really interesting. So everyone talked about it. It became fact because like perception is reality at the end of the day. We know that. Once people started talking about it, that's what happened. I feel like Lottie has done a really good job of taking a step back.
Yeah.
And not being seen as that person, because there was a couple of episodes where I was like, oh, well, Lottie's the mastermind. Lottie's going to be driving this stuff. Lottie's got rid of Harry. Lottie's doing all this stuff. I think she realized her position, how far out her neck was, and there was someone else there that was willing to move forward, being like, I'm controlling the game now. I think that was perfect for Lottie. Yeah. Perfect for Lottie. But yeah, look, she took it so well, being blindsided like that. She took it really well.
Which I always find weird. I'm like,
yeah, I know. You want people to be, I hate you. I hope you get bitten by damn alligators.
I don't know. It's just
damn
weird.
Crocodiles.
Especially because like it was a big, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know why I have this uncomfortable feeling with this, because like genuinely it was like a really proper blindside. Like they really hit it.
They had no
did
idea.
It really well. And it wasn't the idol play that did it. Like that didn't swing it in the end. It was just pure like social game outplay, But so I don't know. I don't know what it is about that.
Because usually the thinking is if the person you're voting for plays an idol, then if you've got an idol, you should think about going like, okay, now this is up in the air because we were voting Brooke and now Brooke's not going home.
Yeah.
I know they thought they had one vote on Ben, and so they were thinking, oh well, Ben's going to go home instead. That's fine.
Yeah.
So that's why we did the split. But still, man, it's rough. And then ultimately, there you go. She didn't even realize she still had Blanche's idol until afterwards. She was like, oh no.
And went off, and Blanche is now without allies on the and without the idol that she found. So really, really tough day for Blanche at the office.
Tough day. And so then we get into episode 11, Josh. Mm-hmm. So 11 was an interesting one. By the way, who claims that move? Because we start this episode with Simon saying, I've finally been part of a big move. I was involved. I was on board, and it all panned out. My redemption is complete, he says. Jackson says, oh, my plan to get everyone together works. Loz says, I was the swing vote that changed everything.
Yeah.
Who actually claims it?
It feels like more of a Simon thing, maybe. I don't know. Maybe a Brooke thing because she's been targeted so heavily, and she, it's probably Brooke because... But she's the most heavily targeted, and she's understood to the outside. So she has the most motivation to spin this around.
Yeah. I actually think it's one of those ones where we don't actually know.
It felt like it felt more like here's a group of people who feel like there's the people on the other side who are running things, and they're getting a bit arrogant about it, and they're running the show, and they're telling us what to do, and they're almost looking at each other going, are you seeing this? Like we don't need to do this. So I think it's that they've almost felt all alienated together, and then they've bound together over that.
Yeah, it's an interesting group. I'm not sure how far this. So it's Simon, Loz, Jackson, Brooke, Ben.
It feels a bit like an alliance of convenience at this stage.
It does, because I don't know. I'm assuming when Mark comes back to them, that they're going to like the Brooke, Simon, and Mark are going to.
I think they'll work together for sure.
Work together, so yeah.
I don't know how much this group will stick together. Don't know.
Yeah. Then we quickly stop in on Faith and Keely basically talking pretty openly about we need Mark on the jury. We'll just get him to the jury, and then we'll just put him on the jury, and then he can be our supporter on the jury. Because they feel like they've got enough of a connection with him that he can be that person.
Yeah,
which is a valid tactic.
And I feel this really ramped up this episode where Mark's starting to feel it. They're getting more chatty. They're getting more confident. They're getting more arrogant around this stuff about this, and then Mark's feeling that in whatever natural gut feeling he has. But he tries to talk it out and talk through it, but you can feel it's like something's up, and he's trusting his gut.
And look, shame on Faith and Keely for being so obvious in starting to talk more and more just together, because they've got confident, and they're feeling like, oh, we can just talk to each other. But obviously, Mark has gone, okay, this is way too much of them talking. Why does Keely need to talk with Faith so much?
Yeah. Do you think this is symptomatic of down to sick? Like there's less people around?
Yes, I think it's way more obvious who's talking to who, because you lose track of a larger group of people. Everyone's talking to everyone. Everyone's sitting together and things like that. When there's 6 of you, you're together and I'm together. And when you look at the group, if Keely and Faith are talking, is Mark having a really big conversation with Sally? No. That he's talking to both Rich and Caleb.
Yeah.
So
there's not much
you
space
get stuck
for
in
chat.
that. Yeah, there's not much space. But yeah, this is planting more Mark paranoid seeds.
Yep.
And it's really it also sort of shows that basically Rich and Keely, that they touched on that again. They're really building that up in terms of these guys are talking a lot, which I found really interesting, fascinating. And so then we move just to touch on Bounty for a second. Baron. Yeah, is it Baron?
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't really see them for the rest of the show.
Out. We don't care.
So they're out. Is there anything else you want to mention about them?
No, we'll come back to them. The only interesting thing was Lottie saying like, get Jackson and you'll have me back. But I don't think Lottie would be back.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, get out Jackson. Yeah, that's really all. I think Simon has salted the earth of Lottie.
I think so.
Nothing to grow ever again. Then we're in the challenge. So challenge is Baron dropping the puzzle, like you had to move the puzzle pieces
behind the wire. Yeah.
Unforgivable dropping that twice, Josh. Dropping once I can forgive, but dropping it twice.
Shame on them.
Shame on them.
But it didn't really matter in the end because they came back to win. So.
Puzzle puzzle was a lot easier than some of the puzzles that we did on ours.
Looked very easy. The other thing I think is getting
outside
overused now. I think beast mode is getting overused. I believe Sally got called for using beast mode. I don't think she quite entered beast mode.
When she was running up the ramp.
No, I think it was like helping lift some of the pieces up. I was like, I don't know if that's beast mode.
Too much beast mode. Okay,
it's too much beast mode. You got to preserve beast mode for a really big physical effort where you're like
for when someone goes
into
beast
something.
mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take note, David.
TG, listen up.
DG,
relax
listen
on
up,
the beast
mate.
mode.
Sorry,
my other favorite. We obviously had a monkey fist again. Your favorite, eliminated.
Good monkey fist,
but you know the classic thing for Mark, which we heard again, taking a thing out of Don's book. I've done this before.
I've done it before. Mark, but this is the first time we've seen Mark not sort of come through at something.
Yeah.
And Josh, I'll tell you right now, I've said it a million times. It comes down to, say it with me, rope management. There you go. Very good. Nailed it.
That's rope management.
It's all about rope management. You need enough there, and you need to really, really fling it.
Well, Simon got it in one, right?
Simon got it in one.
Yeah.
Simon got it in one. Let's look at Simon. Look and learn from the Simonator. But you do need again. The distance is not long. Is really long.
Yeah.
You really needed to throw that thing as hard as you could.
Can you go an overhand? Or do you have to do the spin?
No, you can go overhand.
Because I reckon
you've got a good enough arm.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go the bowlers, the kind of the slingshot. That's what you into that. That's good for you.
Yeah. David versus Goliath.
Right, there we go.
But it's all about how much rope you have. You've got to. I actually wonder whether you could step out, go onto the course, measure the rope length that you need to get it, go back. And then,
no, but it's fine. You just don't hold it before. Like you just don't hold it.
But you don't know how much.
Just don't hold it. Throw it and let go. Why do you need to hold it?
No. If it's all on the ground, no. See, Josh. No.
Loop it up as far back as you can.
Yeah, you loop it, but you want to take the weight of the rope because if it's on the ground, it's just sitting on the ground. That actually. Yes,
I think we're going to rename.
You don't know Monkey Fist, Josh.
No, we're going to
know Monkey Fist.
We're going to rename the podcast Monkey Fist Debrief.
Monkey Fist Debrief.
Give you the full debrief of Monkey Fist.
We can do that. I'm going to start up a spin-off podcast.
Please do.
Where we just talk monkey. It's called Monkey Fist.
It's called Monkey Fist.
I think it's banned in Australia.
I'm seeing monkey fist bins around Victoria.
Yeah,
turn in your monkey fists.
Turn in your monkey fists.
Very dangerous.
Leave out your monkey fists from poor Mark. Leave them out. No, so Mark doesn't quite get it done this time. He's had a hell of a run. He's had a hell of a run on challenges.
Hell of a run.
So then we're in
Baron wins,
Scramble.
Sending Bounty off to Scramble.
Into the Scramble. Rich's play is, hey, I'm in with Simon, keep me. Mark, and this, I'm going to mention it now. Simon doesn't mention this to the next episode, but it is so funny that Mark is saying, oh, if something bad happens, you look after my person, I look after your person. So if Keely or Faith or whatever ends up on the other tribe, and Rich is on our tribe, they're like, let's protect our people. Simon and Mark both have the exact same thought of, no, I'll get rid of this person.
Yeah.
And then they have less people to work with.
They're a strong ally.
So it's the complete opposite of what you want to happen. It's so funny. They're just thinking about the game at that same level.
This kind of chat doesn't exist but for they're both being returnees, right? That's the only thing that links them. They feel like we've got a connection. We have to look out for each other.
And they both live in Queensland. They both live.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah. So, well, that is a thing. Like, if you live there, you've seen each other at watch parties and stuff. You've probably got more of a relationship than not. But I just thought that was really funny that they both had the opposite intention. So you could actually, if you're playing 4D chess, you tell them that you want them to keep someone that you don't
actually want to
go. Keep.
Yeah. That's the next level.
That's the next level.
One of the things I really enjoyed about this scramble overall, we sort of saw a lot more agency from Caleb. He's really stamping his claim that, like, I'm sick of being on the bottom. I see these three on the top. And he's actually trying to go around and get Richard and get Sally and go, let's do something. We're on the bottom. We keep getting told. And I find this interesting that, like, I feel he's in quite tight with Mark, but he understands. I think it was really insightful to go, like, he understands that he's just getting told names to do things and he's doing them. And he's wanting to try and fight back, but he can't get any momentum behind it.
And not only that, but he is often the person putting the other vote on someone else.
So he gets the heat. You're right.
Then they come back to camp and they go, well, you voted for me. So Caleb is finally wanting to do something, and poor Tez is turning in his grave going, that's what I wanted to do last week.
Come on. Let's go.
Poor
Come on,
Tez.
guys. Go.
So poor Tez, because now it becomes a bit too late because it is a 3-on-3 now. Like it's 6 people left, so it's not an easy time to pull a switch.
One question I want to ask you. So between Mark, Faith, and Keely, they've clearly established themselves as the top 3 here, and there's a bottom 3. Do you think Sally feels that as well? Does she see that as equally as the others do?
No, Sally actually feels like the Wise Women.
They're the 3.
Alliance is the 3 Wise Women. They're the actual real 3, and Mark is. And I actually think there is a little bit to that at this point in the game. I think it shifts a little bit when they realize that Sally's got close connections on the other side.
Yep.
But it's Mark wants Rich out and Keely wants Caleb out.
Yes.
At this point. It's really interesting. Mark's defense of Caleb. So Keely says Caleb's a wild card. He'll just do anything. And Mark's defense is no. I'm really tight with him. I've got him on lockdown. I know what he's going to do. So he's not going to be crazy. That's not the flex you think it is, Mark.
No.
Because you're actually telling Keely, I've got him as one of my numbers and I can control him, which makes Keely want to vote him out more, if anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in that moment, that's when the truth will out of like, no, I've got him under control. And you're like, oh, okay, well, if that's how you feel. I thought that was very interesting. Mark does pick up on a vibe. And it does cut to Faith. I feel like Faith is good at making people like listening to both Mark and Keely. I feel like Faith is really good at being that sort of intermediate and making people feel that they can express themselves. And she goes, okay, yeah, that's really good, really interesting. And that's such a good quality, listening to people in Survivor. You just got to be able to absorb and listen.
Teasing out their thoughts a bit.
Yeah, I think that is really good. But the girls are just full into cut off Mark's legs. Like, we want to make sure that Mark doesn't have Caleb.
Yeah.
And that we've got Sally. And now that Keely's feeling that she's got Rich as well.
Well, because they were trying to turn. Yeah, and they were talking about how, we systematically cut all these people away from Mark and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I think that is like the beautiful tension of this game, that there are other people you need to work with. And maybe, do you think it works better in an alliance like this, that you're trying to become better friends with Caleb, so it's not just exclusively for Mark. So you can keep the same person, but maybe you can work on them a bit to work with them and share that.
Yeah, but it's hard when you've spoken down to people or you've been rude to them. It's hard to rebuild that.
Yeah, totally.
So now we're on to redemption. So then they tell us about the twist, the Redemption Beach twist. And my initial reaction was like, this is huge. This is crazy. What is this? And then the scramble at Tribal Council goes insane. At one point, Mark calls Keely a mole. Keely says, make sure you guys put some on Mark. The thing I thought, so let's just talk about the twist in general. So my initial thoughts, Josh, was, I like this. I feel like the game is still moving forward.
Yep.
But it's a non-elimination, but the game is still evolving and moving forward. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't like the fact that they didn't explain what happened on Redemption Beach. Because then I was thinking, well, hang on. If one of those guys then goes home because of it and they do a challenge, that means Keely can go home through no fault of her own for copping one stray random vote and then in a position where she's like, I'm not good at challenges. This isn't my strong point. And then she goes home. So I'm glad that it turned out in the way that it did, which was, no, they all come back into the game, but without votes. I actually like that part of it. But I'm not sold on it. I think it's too broken in terms of having 3 people go. It seemed just wild. It seemed, okay, we're just going to put some votes out there and then it's just going to happen. It took strategy away, I felt.
Thing I really, really liked about it is it feels a bit like a pecking order challenge. There's the 2 elements that I really loved. I love the idea that it is the most votes, like the people have the most votes. So there's a lot of planning and thought when the numbers are this tight of how are we going to put them on and who are we going to put them on. And this weird feeling amongst the group of like Caleb being like, it'll definitely be me, guys. Like that is a really interesting element to throw in there to really make people assess who are my allies, who am I going to send there. And I think to your point, it's really, I think knowing what the consequence is really important. Because I hate
think
not
being able
changes.
to strategize. I hate not being able to strategize for something.
But I think
you tell them what they're doing.
Yeah, I did like it being 3 though, because I think that makes how you throw out those votes way more difficult, because you can't just like, we've got to pick 2. We'll throw these on those 2. You split on this one, this one. You've go, no. And then there's a third one out there. And we saw this is what happened to Keely, that they couldn't quite plan enough for the 3 people. Like you get enough for 2. And then smart enough, Rich is like, well, I'm just going to throw one at someone else so I don't bloody go. Like really, really good thinking from Rich to be like, well, I'm not just going to follow you. Like, why would I do that? I feel like I'm out there. I might go.
I honestly can't believe Rich didn't cop a vote.
I don't understand.
It feels like a total
miscommunication.
miscommunication. Yeah.
Because how do you coordinate? That's what I find fascinating. You can't coordinate this really easily enough with whispers and.
Because the girls, the head office, they put 2 on Sally and 1 on Caleb, and they thought that's great. But then Sally and Caleb voted for each other.
Yeah.
And then it let Rich decide the third person to go.
Yeah.
So Rich could have put anyone in. So realistically, what they needed to do is Mark, instead of voting for Sally, needed to put 1 on Rich.
Yeah.
And then it would have been 1 Rich with 1 Keely, and then
the other thing I really liked is there was this moment where Mark was like sweating bullets, and he's like, "Don't send me." You know what I mean? Like he realized based on his vibes that he's had recently, he's like, "I'm in trouble here," and it's so interesting I wonder how much those moments, like looking someone in the eye and being like, "Don't do this, or keep me," those little things. Yeah. Do you think at a tribal, looking someone in the eye, does that have an effect, or is it about who's whispering in your ear and what's best for you?
I think it does have an effect. Yeah. I think when it comes to the crunch, the power of the crunch. When it comes to the crunch, you go, hey, we are in this game together. If the people that go to Redemption Rock, if one of them just goes home, I don't want to just randomly go home because of 1 stray vote. Like, let's just get through this. This is insane. Let's just get through this together. Yeah. So I think that you can sort of make that argument. The fact that it ends up turning into what it did turn into, I'm less annoyed at it because someone just didn't go home from copping a spare vote. And it did create an interesting scramble, but I do feel that they can't do this again because the play is always to lose the next challenge and get them back on your beach.
I think
no matter what happens.
I think just to take a step back from that, just with the vote, the 3, I think if you know there's going to be a challenge to get back, because I like that thought, and we heard Caleb saying to Rich of like, hey, let's get Sal, we could probably beat her. I like that as an element of understanding that maybe you're going way to a challenge, and that's something you should factor in as well. But I think not knowing makes that really difficult.
And I think that's probably why Mark doesn't cop a vote in this situation, because he's shown himself to be quite good at challenges. And I think, well, hang on, if it's all of us are going there, let's not go up against Mark.
That's a great point. Yeah. So there could be a monkey fist challenge, and we'd all be in trouble.
We'd all be in trouble. It'd be even Stephen. So then those 3, so then the Keely cops the 1 stray vote, which is weird because the edit, we were showing that Richard and Keely were getting along, and then it just shows that no, Rich is not. Rich is like,
it's almost surprising they didn't throw one Faith's way to be like, well, then it'll be me, Mark, and Keely hanging out. So
yes,
I don't know. It seems like it's more of a reflection on who he probably wants to hang out with. He said, I've replaced Keely kind of thing.
I did feel like Keely did want to work with Rich as well. So it is weird that he ended up burning her so fully.
It did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So then we're on Redemption Beach with the guys. Look,
in episode 12.
Fire, in the rain. This is episode 12 now. Yeah. Like, that's brutal, man. You lie down in the rain in a huddle with crabs around you. It's no joke.
There could be coconut crabs that Caleb heard a story that someone got eaten by them. So got to watch out for that, Eden.
You got to watch out for that. It's like very up there with drop bears as well.
Yeah.
Then we have this key hunt. I feel like the key hunt and ultimately, the key hunt and people losing their vote, it's very new era US Survivor coded, I feel.
Yeah, okay.
Like this is a lot of...
I like a key hunt.
American.
There was a lack of urgency to the key hunt that I was disappointed in. I wanted more ferocious running around.
Yeah. The way... Oh, man, the best thing about the key hunt was when Keely won it, the way that she found the key, unlocked it, took it out with Caleb in the background, and then relocked it, and then took it back, and then put it in her pocket, and walked away. It was smooth criminal action.
Yeah.
And to relock it, and to have the brain to like, I'm going to relock it, so then no one knows that someone's got it.
I guess at some point you've got to presume
someone's found it.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like by the end of this, someone's opened it. You're not going to stop until someone's opened it. So whatever it is, it's probably going to be. But you don't know that when you're opening it, right? So you're probably better just to. The more information you have to yourself, the better, right?
I just thought she was very smooth criminal there. And Josh, she's finally thinking like a criminal. She's finally thinking like a criminal, which I love. Then
talking about criminal thinking, should we just quickly touch on the fake idol play?
Yes, let's touch on the fake idol. Now, this, I'm just going to say it right now. you don't put a thing that looks exactly like the idol on top of a box if you don't want people to use it as a fake idol. This is
great.
And look, fair enough. Fake idols that look real are fantastic for the game because you can get away with them. This is, they wanted someone to find this and to use it. Come back from Redemption.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What she could do with who she shares that with. I think that'll be really interesting. Does she share it with people as a real idol, or does she share it as a fake idol? I think that'll be really interesting to see.
Because the other thing you've got the packaging from her clue that she could possibly use. So you've got all the tools you need to make a package and an idol.
Yeah.
I think that would be really
fun. There.
We cut back to Faith and Mark. And Mark, when the man's in trouble, he gets an idol. So he finds an idol. And it was a long shot, so you saw Faith was right next to it for a while.
She was totally next to that log.
Didn't see it. So Mark's got an idol. Question for you, Josh. We're going to fast forward to the end of this episode. But this idol, if Mark doesn't have this idol, does he go through with this move?
Oof. I think so, but we literally heard him say, now that I have this, I feel I can make some bigger moves. I think the fear of what's coming based on the feelings he's had, the conversations he's had with Faith, I think it's the right time. And we heard all this stuff around, Faith saying, I know Mark's game. I don't know how he plays and all these kind of things. And we've heard Mark with those ghosts from the jungle whispering in his ear. So I think he may have gone through with this because I think he's just thinking, this has reached a fever pitch. I've had this, and let's talk about this conversation that he had with Faith.
This is the worst conversation you could have on the show Survivor.
Yeah.
Mark realizes that he's created a monster in Faith when Faith tells him point blank, "Oh, you'll definitely beat me in the end. I can't beat you, so I'm definitely not taking you to the end.
I know you think you can beat me, but I can't beat you."
Yeah, I can't beat you. I know I can't beat you, so I'm not taking you to the end. When you put that out there into the world, you have just totally shot yourself in the foot. It is the worst thing you could say.
Yeah.
It is honestly the worst thing you can say to an Alliance member. You will beat me at the end, so I don't want to go to the end with you.
Yeah. I think
what are we doing then, mate? What are we doing?
Yeah, well, I think the big critical difference here that I don't think Faith quite thought through is I've got two questions for you, Eden. Is Mark a shield for Faith?
Yeah.
Is Faith a shield for Mark?
Yeah, Mark is a shield for Faith, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Is Faith a shield for Mark, though?
No, I think Faith is a information finder and someone be able to have an extra vote and make things happen for Mark.
And I think that's the biggest difference there. That Faith is going into being like, I know I've got to cut Mark at some stage, but Mark is like, well, no, I'm gonna probably I can take you to the end and beat you. I'm not necessarily keeping you round to keep the heat off me. So as you said, it's just all it is doing is like, okay, you're going to come for me at some point.
Yeah.
That could be the next vote. It could absolutely be the next vote.
I tell you what you do in this situation. You lie, Josh. You lie.
You wouldn't. On Survivor.
And you go and you say, yeah, I actually think you and me at the end would be Ruby Soho at the end. Imagine that.
Great.
Us two going up against each other. Like, it would be so awesome. And I think we've both got a pretty good chance. Like, we've both got an interesting story. And because we've had a similar journey, I think that's probably our best bet to go against each other. Because if we take someone else, if we bring someone else along, they're going to pull votes because they've had a bit of a different story.
Yeah.
But we've had a really strong connection. And I think that would be really, that's what you say. But that's what you actually say.
How many people do you think you're comfortable pitching that you and me to the end with in a game?
Oh, you can't pitch it to everyone because then you become known as he's got a final two with everyone.
Could you do more than one? Do more than one person? Or is it just one person?
You could do two, I reckon.
It was just so interesting to see. And I think it is symptomatic. We saw this sort of tension between Mark and Faith just rising. And I don't know if it's like a personality thing. You spend more time. It's an intense environment. And it just seemed stuff was bubbling over a bit. And it was like smiles on the outside, but a little bit like, I think I might be in with the wrong person here. This isn't going as I thought it was.
This is not going. This has created a monster. This is Frankenstein's monster. This is it. So then we go to a challenge. So you don't actually lose. So hang on. What is it? If you lose the challenge, you get the people at this point.
We skipped over the redemption challenge. So we had Caleb win that.
Oh yes. Sorry, the redemption challenge.
That's okay. So we had Caleb win that to get him back in the game. And then had the 2 losers.
And Keely was
terrible.
Was not great at it, which I found interesting.
Can I just say, an incredible amount of squeaking was added to that.
Oh, you reckon? In post?
So much squeaking. Oh, it's very rickety. I thought this challenge was awesome. I really dug it.
I think it was a cool challenge. Yeah,
really cool.
It's the rope pulling out one, but on a teeter totter.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was fun.
I just don't like. I think it's great to win your way back in, but I really don't like losing your vote in this. I think it's such a harsh punishment,
so huge,
and it makes it actually sets up the immunity challenge in a really bad way, because as we sort of saw, the incentive is, well, to protect them, we want to get them back on our side because they're the people we want to have.
You always lose.
And if they're on the other side, you don't even have that benefit of like, oh, well, they're going to be a number and they could be used. There could be tensions over there that we could break up and we could be a number to use, which I think is so important if you're coming as an outsider. And to lose that entirely, I don't think is very good.
So if you go to another tribe and you can't offer them anything, why are they keeping you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why are they keeping you? So so Caleb's back. The other girls end up being there for 3 days. That's a long time to be just by yourself.
But they made fire. Did some coconuts.
That was awesome. That was awesome. That was really good. Yeah. Then we've got the challenge. So this is the coconut throw. You got to get the coconuts. Ben does it in his teeth, which was awesome. I really like that. And so did Josh. Would you say he was going beast mode?
That was beast mode. I think that was beast mode. Pulling a boat through water with the rope in your mouth. That's let's go. That's beast mode.
That is beast mode right there. So I agree with that. That is going beast mode. And then Mark just throws it. Mark takes 2 coconuts and just throws it.
What did you make of the chat between Mark and Simon up on the challenge?
So Mark didn't want to say anything because he could be seen to say anything. Perfectly valid. And also you don't want to just talk openly like this. I thought that was really good, because you can just see people saying names and things like that.
It is so kind of sad though to see another challenge sort of thrown. And I do think that is symptomatic of this twist. I think there's really I think you want to incentivize the win, and I think it should have been, if you win the challenge, you choose where those people go. Maybe they have their vote, maybe they don't. But if you win, that's the power you get. You get to choose who goes to which tribe, or maybe they both go the same one or both go the other. But I think that's a much better incentive.
But then who goes to tribal council? The loser still.
The loser still.
Yeah.
But you have that incentive that, I don't know. You just want some incentive to win.
Is that too powerful? Because then you go, then you go, okay, Sally. No, but then maybe you don't want to send Sally back over there.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's someone you've wanted to save. I think it's just a more interesting dynamic than
that's a good
losers just get them. I think it's another piece to move around the board. I think
there was a moment, because those metal cages must have had, they were base heavy anyway.
And
then Mark got worried. Mark got worried that Simon was legitimately going to drop it. Just because it's like, man, this is really hard. I'm just going to drop this. And then he was like, no, I want to drop it, but I don't want it to look bad.
What I found really interesting, I think we saw it from Simon in the Fire Challenge, and I think we saw it from Ben, and he sort of intimated at that I'm just, like, Simon said something along the lines of, I was doing my job for the tribe, and we heard Ben sort of like, I think he's going to go hell for leather and everything. I don't think he would find it easy to throw a challenge. So I think between
Simon or Ben?
Both of them.
Yeah, yes,
I think both of them would just work as hard as they can, and it'd be really difficult for them to switch that off.
And I like that there are people like that are just...
It's great. It's great.
Honor and integrity, Josh. You want a mix of people. You do. Because that creates interesting dynamics.
Absolutely.
And so then we're into the scramble. So Bounty lose, they get their people back, and then they also have to go to tribal council.
Yes.
Now, I feel like Rich has a real blind spot for Mark, because Mark has one conversation with Rich, and Rich is all in. Rich is
like, if
Mark,
you want to do it, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. And then they start Operation Wave.
Operation Wave. What a fun name. Do you remember what Wave stood for, Eden?
I have no idea.
It was watch.
Did you write it down?
Adapt. Vote. Endure. There we go.
There you go, mate. That's all you need to do.
That's the Wave mentality.
That's the Wave mentality. And now it's come full circle now, because it worked. Operation Wave did work.
It did. I think
Rich is all in, and then he has a conversation with Caleb, and Caleb says, "Let's go." Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very good.
There you go.
I think
those
this
three seem they're on board.
I think this seems to me, Richard is like, I'd rather hitch my wagon to the Mark cart than the Keely cart. Because I think he maybe sees I can learn more from Mark. I can go deeper with Mark than I can potentially with
I just
Keely.
feel like when you say stuff like that, I just think of Oregon Trail and someone getting dysentery.
On the way, Mark's like completely fine. See you, Rich. Sorry, mate.
See you, mate. Don't get those river crossings a killer. This is a really exciting scramble, though. It's really exciting. There's paranoia. There's people turning. There's things to. Does Keely and Faith clock it at any point? That things are shifting?
I don't think so. I don't
think so either.
I think because there's been that plan of, we've got to get Keely and Sally back on our side. We've got to save them. We've got to keep that rock solid. I think it's just, I don't think they really realized maybe in the time that Keely and Sally were away that maybe that has boiled up between Mark and Faith. I don't think maybe they realized just how far Mark's paranoia has grown in the last few days.
Because Keely tells Mark that Sally's been running for him and gunning for him, which I think is a really good move on Keely's part. Build into Mark's paranoia and give him a target that isn't you guys, and say she's really pushing this. Gives him something to focus on. So, but Mark's just he's really clocked what the girls are doing.
Yeah, it was
interesting.
But
I think that was a good tactic.
It was interesting because we had them going for Caleb, and it was going to be Caleb, and then we heard Sally's pitching Mark, and then that gets back to Mark, and that it seems like that switches the vote then. And Mark was like, I really wish I'd stuck to my gut, and I can't believe I forgot about this.
Yeah, Mark says I don't like flip flopping.
Yeah,
which I thought was funny. But you're right. I do think it legitimately changed to Sally.
Yeah, it seemed like that's where it absolutely moved to. But the fact that I was almost like proud of Mark in some ways to be like, this person has told you they're going to cut you. You don't know when. And I think it's the ghost of the jungle speaking to Mark quite loudly.
Yes.
And it was great to see. And I think we had that really interesting chat with Caleb and Rich being like, finally, like they're using it. It's like we've got this exciting big move to do. We can break them up. And the kind of sad thing about it was like, we're so lucky. Like just that lack of agency they've got in their position now that they understand that like this is the best we can get. Someone throws us a bone. It's like, come on this vote. Come on this great vote with us,
And there's nothing, this doesn't happen without these votes being lost though. With Keely and Sally not having their vote, like this really hangs Faith out to dry, because that is a solid three that weren't going to turn on each other, and all that Caleb and Richard can look for is a go to rocks, and then Mark's not going to go to rocks for Caleb and Richard.
No way.
So this is not happening otherwise.
And I wonder how much, knowing that, hey, some of these people might lose their vote at the next tribal. Like, I wonder how much that affects your thinking on who we're going to send. So I think it would be nice to have that information that you can strategize around that vote, as we discussed earlier.
Yeah. And look, and good on Mark taking the shot before it's too late. And I think he learnt that. He
from you, mate. From you.
This is advice that I'm wanting to give Mark. Take the shot, mate. Take the shot. I went into that game. One of my philosophies was always vote someone out the vote before you think of voting them out.
Yeah.
So if you go, I'm going to get rid of them soon, maybe in one or two, you go, no, we're doing it tonight.
Yeah.
Because they're going to clock that. And I've always believed that, and I've always said that. If you make a decision to go for someone, you go them the tribal before you think you should.
Well, I love getting to tribal. I thought it was so tense. And I really, as we spoke about at the head of the show, I wasn't fully convinced Faith was going to go here, because she's been such a strong player in this game.
Such a big character.
And it was like, oh my God, is it going to happen? And then like Mark's dead face, looking away, not looking in the eye, like this is happening. Yeah. But it was interesting. I love a little quote Mark said, my wife gave me this advice to be out here. Be ruthless.
Yeah.
Like, great wifely advice.
Shout out to Mark's wife. Like, she's fantastic and I love it. And I can imagine her saying, hey, mate, if I'm letting you go out there, you better fucking win.
Yeah, play for yourself. But is that thing, play for yourself? And this is a really good case. I think, here's a question. Do you think this move gets pulled off by a non-returning player?
I think people get. I think people can feel like I've lost people.
Yeah,
I don't have these people anymore. I need to do something else. I need to change my game up. I've got these other two people here. I think what's great about Mark in this iteration of him, and in Titans versus Rebels as well, he always had sort of connections with people, or there were sort of reasons not to go for him directly. Because he had a little bit of a connection with Ferris, and he had the V's, and he had me, and he had so there was not, people weren't there. They could never just go, hey, we're going Mark, and it sort of what ended up happening with Ferris as well. You could never go, we're just getting Ferris, because there were so many little spiderwebs connections that it would get back to people. And it sort of happened here. He insulated himself. He had people telling him. He had enough of a relationship with Caleb and Rich and Keely and stuff like that to be able to pull this off.
And I think we really demonstrated that his keenness to keep Caleb around. We saw a few chats where Caleb's coming up with him, giving all that information, and this is going on, this is happening. And I think that is demonstrating to us why Mark is so desperate to keep Caleb over Rich.
Yeah, because he has that connection.
He does those kind of things.
So then we did the vote, and the vote is obviously a tie initially. Now, I felt so bad because, again, at some point, so it goes to a tie, and I was in a similar situation where we went to a tie, and the second vote is so quick afterwards. It's literally like, okay, guys, so we're voting again. And I wish, and this would be something that a returnee player would probably feel more comfortable doing, but I wish I just went, hey, can we stop? We're just going to stop for a second because I need to talk to my people about this
and
vote.
Explain
and
how
go,
Rocks
hey,
works.
this is why we should actually do it. This is why you should keep me. Because at this point, it's 2 on Faith, 2 on
Sally.
Yep. And you go, this is why you guys should keep me in the game. I'm 100%. And you try and do something here because it's the last roll of the dice, and obviously it didn't work. And then her name comes up. She can't believe it.
Yeah.
And then she says to Mark, you should have voted me out. And he goes, I did.
Yeah. Well, we had that quite sad moment of before the second vote where it was like, and it reminded me of the Matrix, where she's like, don't take me out. Not like this. Don't take me out. Like it was very sad looking over to them being like completely, and then at that moment, right, you haven't gone yet, but you're completely powerless. It's like,
there's nothing you can do.
Please keep me in this game.
So she obviously initially thought that Caleb and Rich had voted her and that her and Mark had voted Sally.
Yeah, I think so.
But Mark was just in, and then Mark was then ultimately, no, this is all part of the plan.
He did look a bit like that was a big move, I think, for Mark, and I think he understood the gravity of that. You could sort of see it on his face. He was like, "Oh, this is a big burn. This is a real big burn."
And now he's got Caleb and Rich. Can he rebuild something with Keely? I don't know. Why not go for Keely in this point?
I think he'd spent that extra time with Faith and that conversation that just says, I'm not taking it.
Maybe it was just that conversation. Like,
and he sort of said, that sort of thing of being brutally honest to each other to a fault. I think he doesn't. I think that's created a lot of tension there. But I think given you understood that Keely and Faith were kind of working together, I don't think Mark is going to keep Keely around for much longer. I don't think he can trust her for too much longer.
I do think, like, cool great big move, but Faith and Keely were going to keep Mark around for a little longer. If we go to a merge now, Sally jumps back over. It's like, does Mark feel like he's got Brooke and Simon on like enough of a connection that he can rebuild something here? Because he's lost those girls. He still has Caleb and Richard, but Richard has more connections with the other side.
I think he feels so rock solid with Caleb and Rich that he's like, the numbers even out. I think they even out for him.
Just before we go, oh man, this has been a long episode actually. Just before we go, look, when it's Great Survivor, there's a lot to talk about.
Absolutely, it's been a great week.
There's a lot to talk about it.
Survivor.
I just want to point out this. Unfortunately, a lot of interesting women have been voted out. I feel
that's true.
Pre-merge, I feel like Paula was really interesting.
Yeah.
Eliza was interesting. Aisha, Faith, big characters, like
big
very
players as well,
interesting.
I think,
and doing stuff interesting. So unfortunate that we're seeing the back of them here.
Yeah.
Josh, who spun and grun?
Spinning red.
It's got to be Mark.
It's got to be Mark, doesn't it? He got himself out of this.
Got himself through this. Got them before he got.
Brooke is up there. Brooke is up there.
Oh yeah, the spin around. That's true.
The spin around
from being on the bottom,
and the Beauty and the Beast, and the getting out her target.
Yeah,
so I think
true.
Mark and Brooke. I think they both get points.
I think that's
this week.
fair. I think that's fair.
And then Josh, who ruffled some feathers?
It was to rustle feathers, ruffle feathers.
Sorry. What are we thinking?
A bit tougher this one, I reckon.
Maybe Faith ruffled feathers by that one conversation.
That's actually a good call. I think based on her radical honesty, I think maybe that's ruffled some big feathers that's sort of shown her the door.
Maybe Simon as well, ruffling Lottie's feathers and
that was a pretty big ruffle actually. Yeah,
that was a pretty big ruffle.
Keeping your quote unquote ride or die out of it. I think that's a big that's a little bit of a.
You said rustle feathers.
Yeah, so I think probably that's a good one. Maybe give it to Simon and Faith this week.
Yeah, Simon and Faith. Any hashtags for people that listen this far, Josh? Who's listening
Monkey
now?
Fists. Monkey Fist.
Monkey Fist. Yeah, bring.
If you want the
people
bonus,
requesting the bonus Monkey Fist compendium.
if you want a bonus episode at the end of the season, hit us with the Monkey Fist hashtag.
And it will just be a photo. It'll be video footage of me teaching the Monkey Fist.
And then you'll commentate over the top of it.
Over the top of that, yeah. Eden and Josh react to Monkey Fist. Yeah, we'll do a react video. Who wants to see
That's
that?
good content. Spew some of that out.
Yeah, spew some of that AI slop out at you. On that note, Great Survivor. Next week's going to be just as big. I feel like it's heading up. We're coming into merge. It can't be that far away. But really good Survivor.
If you're watching 50, we'll catch you on Thursday night. Otherwise, see you next week for AU. Also, Eden some exit interviews as well. Check those out. They'll be up soon.
Yeah, check them out.
Bye.
Bye.